Evening. I'm sure all of you are aware about the topic for today's discussion. Can anybody just quickly write the topic in the chat box and tell us what we are here to discuss about? Does anybody remember the exact topic? Board to boardroom. Okay, that is close. But is it board to boardroom? Management skills, great. Board to boardroom, okay. Management. Okay, thank you so much, Tariq. So I think that's the exact topic. Thank you so much. Preparation for a career in management. Yes, that's what we're going to talk about. Classroom to boardroom. Exactly. So the topic for today's discussion, which we narrowed down to, is classroom to boardroom, preparing for a career in management. So I'm sure, all of you, some or the other way are related to pursuing or looking forward to pursuing a career in management. Now, before we introduce the team here and we start with our discussion on the topic, a quick word from all of you in the chat box to, tell us that whether you are a student who's looking for management, are you a teacher? Sure, Abhishek, we'll try to keep it bilingual as much as possible. Okay, student. Okay, student, amazing. Okay, so most of your students, is there a teacher, is there a counselor, is there a faculty member? No, 12th pass. Okay, so some of your 12th pass, some of you might be in 11th or 12th. 10th pass, okay. Okay, a couple of career coaches also, they are great. It's no harm getting to know more about careers out there. Oh, 9th right there. Great. So you have started your career exploration journey much earlier. That's amazing. 12th PCM, but might be interested in a career in management. That's great. 11th right now. Amazing. Okay, great. So, Swami, I think we're good to go. Let's
I think
start it. Yeah. So
I think we should begin.
Yes.
So thank you everyone for joining in. You all guessed it right. The topic for today is from classroom to boardroom, preparing for a career in management. We have our Mindler team here. I am a career coach at Mindler. We have Soumya, who's also from Mindler. We have Ojasvi from Mindler. We have our senior career coach, Prasanna ma'am, and Miss Sana Jamal. Let me introduce the speaker, Miss Sana Jamal, to all of you. So Miss Sana Jamal is with us, who's also the moderator for today's session, and she's also the speaker. She's a senior career coach at Mindler. She is an internationally certified career coach, counselor, and soft skills trainer who has guided and trained hundreds of students and teachers across India. She is also a trained peer supporter and has undertaken UNESCO recognized action projects. Sana holds an undergraduate and a postgraduate degree in psychology from Lady Shriram College for Women and University of Delhi, respectively. Her ability to connect with students has led her to effectively guide students in their career discovery journeys. So welcome, Sana ma'am, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Yusra. So I was planning, because all of us are here together. We are joined by career coaches and senior career coaches from the Mindler team. So rather than a monologue and me just talking about a career specifically, we thought that let's make it an interesting format where we are discussing with you and amongst ourselves and together learning more about a career. So thank you for that generous introduction. Ojasvi and Yusra are career coaches themselves. They've joined as well. They'll contribute to the session and also help you with any questions in the chat box. So do use the chat box effectively, responding to the, any questions we ask, and also make sure that you mark your chat to everybody. And if there are any specific questions, so that we don't miss it out, you are recommended to write it in Q&A, and we'll try taking as many of them possible while our discussion on career and management. If not, then of course Yusra and Ridas, we are here to help you answer it in the chat box itself. We also have Soumya as a senior career coach. Soumya, it would be great if you could give a quick intro and say a hello to our audience.
Hello everyone. So I think it's really great interacting with you today evening, and we're going to be talking lots and lots about management as a career and how all of you can pursue that. And just feel free to enter all your questions in the Q&A also. My introduction, I'm a senior career coach at Mindler and I'm a psychologist. I've done my bachelor's and master's from Delhi University. And I've also worked at IIT Delhi and ISB Hyderabad. So I'm all ears to your experience and how we can collaborate together to build our career journeys. Over to you, Sana.
Great, amazing. Okay, so now we want to understand from all of you that, how many of you are sure that you're looking forward to pursuing a career in management, right? Or you're interested in management as a career specifically. Quickly. Just a me or a yes in the chat box would help. Okay, a thumbs up, that works too. Thank you, Abir. Yes, me, okay. Great. Okay. Now, we talk to thousands of students as career coaches, right? And I'll tell you, and I think Soumya and Yusra and Jasvi will agree that management is turning out to be one of the most lucrative and sought out careers among students these days. And the good thing is that, it is one of these stream agnostic careers. Now, what do we understand by that? That it's a career open for everybody, irrespective of the background or the stream you had, not only at an undergrad level, but even at a postgrad level. So a lot of times we even come across people in the working domain or people pursuing their bachelor's in a different area, but interested to take up management or MBA at a postgrad level, right? So it's a career which is open, like I said, for you even at a later level, and you can just go and clear the entrances, enter into the managerial field, and take up a degree in management later. So it's the flexible nature of the career, and also it being stream agnostic attracts a lot of people, right? And it's also, when we're talking about the skills that a course or a degree in management gives you, the skills you learn through the course curriculum, and while application of it is also one of the reasons why it is a career which is sought after, because we are living in an era where we are talking about skill development. We are talking about what you as an individual can bring on the plate. So again, a question to all of you, and then we can start with this discussion before we move on to the courses bit, that what do you think are some of the most important skills that you need to have to pursue a career in the field of management? Or what are some of the skills, I put it the other way around also, that a management degree or course will teach you? Great. Leadership skills and communication, I see coming up, repeatedly there. Amazing. Curiosity, okay. Mathematics and teamwork. Thank you so much for mentioning that, Ragbi. Management has that, love-hate relationship with math, and a lot of times students come up, is math required? Is math not required? I'm not good at math. Can I be good at management? So we will cover the math element as well. Curiosity, teamwork skills, great. Critical thinking, management skills, of course, that's for said. Management skills, or rather put it other way to make it clear, organizing skills, handling things in time, great. Okay, motivation, team building, critical thinking, mentoring, analytical skills, decision making skills, logical skills, people management skills, okay, communication, teamwork, organization, creativity, listening skills, leadership, interpersonal management skills. Amazing. So all of you are absolutely right. These are some of the most handy skills. We'll cover more of them in detail, and I would love Soumya to contribute to that. But what is the most interesting thing is, when we're talking about a career in management, a lot of you said that management skills are very important for a career in management. My next question which automatically pops up in my head, and I'm sure for a lot of you, is what is management? Like, how do you define management? Because a lot of times when we ask this to students, what is management, they come and say it's to manage. But what is to manage? Does anybody want to give that a try? Ability to work under pressure, okay, that's a skill. To put different elements to work together, that's a great definition, Vaishnavi, of an organization. Okay, what else is management? So even if we forget a corporate or an organization, management in general, if I say that I got to manage this, what am I talking about? To control all kinds of people, okay. Manage funds, okay, but that's a kind of management. But again, what is management? What do you mean when you say manage funds, finance, people, deal with people? Okay, but how? Managing the team and achieving set goals. See, that's a tricky part. You cannot use the word manage or management while defining the word manage and management. Work efficiently and productively, okay. Okay, so if I say I work efficiently, I can be a great worker. I might not be a great manager. Then what is management? Requirement in all levels of organization. Yes, indeed, we don't deny the fact that it's very important and required as a skill as well. Identifying and solving problems to manage things. Keshav, that's what we are trying to solve the mystery about what it is to manage things. Okay. Controlling things, smooth workflow. Smooth workflow can be an outcome of management. Process of getting things done effectively and efficiently. Thank you so much, Noor. I was, looking for that definition, and, I would like to repeat that word for everybody. So when we are talking about management, it's nothing else, but it is the process of getting things done by others or machines or through any process efficiently and effectively. So also, the time factor is taken into account, and you're making sure that the people who are given the task are doing that task. So if I do all the tasks myself, I might be a good worker, but may not be a good manager. But if I'm a good manager, I will not only allocate tasks, I will also make sure that everybody does their tasks. So it's actually the process of getting things done by others in a very effective as well as efficient manner. I'm sure all of you had fun, trying to figure out the meaning of management, a word we use so often in our, everyday life. Coming next to the major skills which we are talking about before entering the, world of management. I know a lot of you mentioned a lot of skills out there in the chat box. Soumya, would you want to, pick up some skills and cover some part of it, and then we can, take few more skills and then move to another area of management?
Absolutely, absolutely, Sana. And I think the interesting part is we are coming up with very interesting answers in the chat. So there's effective coordination, being creative, utilizing resources effectively. So when we talk about management, dear audience, it's a very holistic level of approach. So when we are saying the word management, it is not just looking at managing the resources or taking control or coordination. It's also about people. It's also about finance. It's also about a huge amount is involved when we are conducting the money part in a business. That's also a part of management. Even small things in school, like managing an event, managing a fete, there are so many things or so many steps involved there as well, right? So let's take an example of an annual day, okay? So every school, most of us would be having an annual day once in a year. What all things do you think are involved in managing a scale of event like annual day? Just write in a chat for me, please. What do you think are the various skills that are involved in it? So it can be organizing, event coordinator, absolutely, Vaishnavi. Planning, yes, very essential part. Planning each and every step. Leadership, absolutely. So who is leading the teams? who is the most senior member, who's coordinating with every other leader. Teamwork, absolutely. Managing the participants, yes. Investment, so there's always money, there's investment of resources, there's investment of time. So all these things that we do at the school level, motivation, absolutely. Jayed, Ujjwal, budget, yes, that's one of the most major things. Jayesh, order of events, absolutely. Like what would happen on the day, first thing, second thing, third thing, and resources also. So you see, we are all very familiar with managing things and management in general. When we are talking and taking it to another level in terms of degree, we are kind of trying to understand and make the process in more in a concrete form, right? So we're trying to understand certain terms that you would have heard a lot in the industry: marketing, finance, operations, accounting. So when we talk about management, we're really trying to understand each and every element of it and how it is kind of mixing it all together. Okay. And as Sana mentioned, it can be pursued after 12th. It is also a field which can be pursued after your graduation as well. Let's talk about one thing which one of the students also asked in the audience. Is math compulsory for a management degree? What do you think? Yes, no, maybe? What's your answer there? Is math compulsory as a subject in order to pursue management after 12th? No, maybe, no, not necessary. Okay, no, okay. Yes, okay. So we have a one yes also. Depends. Okay, Abir, it goes to you. Depends, absolutely. So yes, it's math is sometimes compulsory in few of the university. Like for example, if you apply in CUET in Delhi University, math is one of the component in your entrance exams. But as we are here to talk about Amity University, math is not compulsory. So if you have done 10+2 and you've passed in any of your subjects, you can pursue management. It will not be a problem at all. Just to inform you, dear audience, Dr. Bhavna can't join us due to some network issues. So we are really apologize for that, but we'll continue with the webinar and we'll give you full information on management and the Amity University specifically as well. So continuing with this, so math is something that few universities will take into account, and then looking at lots and lots of good private institutes in India, including Amity University, Mumbai, math is not something which is a core subject requirement. Having said that, there are, of course, few concepts of math which would be part of your management degree. So yes, a basic level of maths is definitely helpful till 10th level in order to pursue those subjects in an effective manner once you are doing the management degree. Sana, anything else that you would like to add on here for the students?
So I think this covers the eligibility part, because most of the questions, like I mentioned in the beginning, also are around the confusion for mathematics. So although management, like I said, is considered a stream agnostic area, it indeed is. So even if you're taking, any other stream, any other set of subjects, if you are good at your numerical and quantitative aptitude and you are looking forward to pursuing a career in management, it's always preferred that you pick up maths as a subject. Otherwise, it's not that it's impossible to pursue a career in management, but yeah, some colleges and universities might close down for you, and it might be a little bit of more challenging to, do that extra prep to clear the entrance. But if you talk at a later postgrad level, irrespective of whatever your undergrad is in, you can still move forward and clear the entrance and go for your management degree, that is MBA at the master's level. So,
Sana, can I also say something?
Yeah.
So, like both Sana and Soumya had said, it is true that math, it depends on the specific university. See, sometimes there are BBA programs that have specialization in something, right? So you have a BBA with a specialization in business analytics, and you have a BBA with a specialization in data science. So for these specific courses, maybe a university might say that if you have not done math in the 11th and 12th, they would not be willing to give you a seat in those specific programs. So like one of the students had pointed out, it is safe to take math, right, in 11th and 12th. It is not that you cannot get into any MBA, any BBA program, but maybe there are specific very specific ones for which you might not be given a seat. So it's a safer option is to choose 11th and 12th, 11th and 12th to do math.
Great. Thank you so
Absolutely,
much, ma'am. Okay, now moving forward, let's discuss a bit on the courses that you will get to, come across when you are talking about different, courses in management. And let's focus on the undergrad, because I know most of your school students and you'll be looking forward to courses in management at an undergrad level. Now, the most common one which we come across is the BBA course, which is a Bachelor in Business Administration course, right? But a lot of times students, come across a BMS course and they think that it's a different course, so it's not management or it's something else, so let's not apply for it. Just to make clear to all of you, a Bachelor in Management Studies course is also a management course. Some universities call it a BMS course at an undergrad level, and most of them do call it a BBA course. So when you're applying, say, in your grade 12 for your undergrad studies, just because the course is not called BMA and has a different nomenclature like a BMS, don't leave on to applying that course. Do apply so that you have more options. So whether a BMS or a BBA, it's the management course only, right? That's one thing for all of you to note. And like Prasanna ma'am mentioned, for some of the courses there might also be specialization, right? So some of the universities might have a specific BBA in a particular area or specialization from beforehand. So it's okay to go with specialization if you're very, very sure that, okay, this is what you want to finally pursue and you've explored different areas. But most of the times, if you've not explored different domains in a career, we always advise the students to start with a generic BBA and a management degree, explore different areas, and you can always, go ahead and, pick up a specialization later on, or pick up, that, work in that area and further go. Because remember, it's always easier and it always makes more sense to go from something generic, as in explore all, and then go to something specific, rather than vice and versa. So for example, if I start my BBA with a specialization in finance and account, and I don't like it 1 year down the line, switching to generic, it's not that it's impossible, but I'll have to justify why. Whereas if I do it vice and versa, that I start with a generic BBA, explore different domains in management, and then have a taste of it, and then realize, okay, this is what I'm interested in, and then pick a specialization, it makes more sense, right? Yeah. So that's about the courses in the management area we were talking about. Now, another thing, just to take a note of, is the different specialization that you might come across. Now, with the changing times, you will find a lot of different kinds of specializations. Of course, we're not covering like each one of them, because still there'll be university out there giving you a very fancy specialization, but yeah, generic ones. So you don't have to remember all of this, but for your better understanding, I'll take the example which Soumya was, talking to you about in the beginning, that for example, you're trying to manage a college fest, right? Or a school event or an, and you get to be a part of the managerial committee. Now, in the managerial committee also, students, I'm sure all of you have a different area of interest, and then you get to choose that, okay, I want to be in the sponsorship team, I want to be in the human management team, or say I want to be in the I want to be the treasurer, or I want to be in the accounting and the finance team, right? Or I want to be in the marketing and the advertising team. Exactly. Creative team, right? Somebody would want to be in the security team, right? Somebody would want to handle money, somebody would want to handle people, right? So if you translate this and think it in a way, these are actually different branches and specialization of management, right? Which comes down to areas like marketing and advertising, like finance and accounting, like human resources, right? So when you look at it, these are the different elements or different domains which you study in management. So if you're starting with a BB or a BMS degree, you get to study all of this and you get to get an understanding on all of this, and then maybe later decide what you like and which area you want to work, and then you can pick up your internships and you can pick up your work roles accordingly, right? Soumya, Prasadha ma'am, would you like to add anything to the courses and the specialization bit?
Yeah, sure. So if you look like Sana ma'am had said, basically there are infinite number of things that different universities offer, right? So the most common one, just a BBA, you can see a BBA with a specialization in finance, with a specialization in marketing, specialization in computational business analytics, or business intelligence, data science, marketing. These are the common ones. The ones with data science and business intelligence are the ones that have come up quite recently. But other than that, like we said, there are, if you specifically look, at specific universities, they might have their own combinations that are possible. But again, like Sana ma'am said, remember, it's a good idea to start general and then specialize, as opposed to deciding beforehand that this is, I'm within business, the only thing I'm interested in finance, and that's what I'm going to focus on. Since you've not had the opportunity to learn any of the other aspects of business, it's always good to keep an open mind, learn about everything, and then maybe, at the end of the second year, decide that this is basically what I want to specialize in. And remember, if you learn everything, right, you have a very broad base, then maybe you work for a couple of years, you realize that you yourself have a specialized interest in maybe one or two areas. Maybe you have worked for a couple of years, and you can always do an MBA with a specialization in one of these areas that you find interesting. Soumya?
Absolutely. I completely agree with Prasanna ma'am and Sana. I also believe that management in general, as Sana described, has lots and lots of branches. So we are talking about finance, operations, human resources, marketing. So we also suggest to keep it at a broader level during undergraduation. And once you make up your mind, you study more, experience through internships, then we can try and specialize into one or two areas that you are sure of, or making up your mind in at the later level. So coming up to lots of other interesting questions that have come in that regarding coaching, entrance exams. So let's understand the application process of management as a career also. So dear students, there are some universities, very few, that are taking up merit as a basis of admission for management. Most of the universities, you will see a trend of entrance exam coming up in India. So that's one. And the third type is they also take into account your profile or your overall application process, where we are discussing about each and everything extra that you've done beyond academics from 9th to 12th grade, which are part of your application process. So when we talk about entrance exams, coaching, it would depend on which universities that we are applying to, right? So the first step is making a very comprehensive university list when it comes to management undergraduation. So if I'm looking for management in India, I'm like trying to make out a list of top 10, top 15 universities, which I would like to apply to. The second step is going on and seeing on their websites. So what's the selection process of this university, that university? What's the selection process of amateur universities? So lots and lots of universities come in here also. The third step is, if there is an entrance, how prepared am I for the entrance? Coaching is never compulsory. It depends on your aptitude and your preparation also. But I think what we all suggest here is do take up some mock tests for sure. Mock tests, past sample year papers, past 10 years papers, just to get a hands-on on what kind of questions can come in the entrance exams. So these are kind of roughly 3 to 4 steps that come in the process. And the last is preparing for interview, presentation, applications, each and everything depending on the university that you're applying to. So Sana, Prasanna ma'am, anything else that you feel that we can add on for students here when it comes to application process, specifically entrance exams, like how they can go about it?
Yeah. So basically, like Soumya has given you a good, idea about how to actually identify universities and then decide that these are the, entrance exams that you need to write. So there are basically different levels of exams. So for example, you could apply through the CUET. Then you have general exams like the IPMAT or the JIPMAT that are very specific to certain universities. But with, say, for example, the IPMAT, there are 6 or 7 universities that you can apply to, management schools that you can apply to, which will accept the results from that. Then there are very institute specific exams, right? I mean, so if you want to apply to specific universities, you can only write their specific entrance exam. So the good thing is, see, you do not want to, when you make a list, you don't want to be writing 20 university exams, right? I mean, 20 entrance exams, because remember at that time, you're also preparing for your board exams. You have other stress also going on because you have to register, you have to upload, then you have to, find out what type of questions they ask, what is the structure of the exam, and then you have to prepare for it, right? So what you want to do is, maybe now if you're in the 11th grade, just generally identify at a broad level a few kinds of universities that you're interested in. Look at the papers, right? And then you will notice that there is a certain pattern to it. What kind of questions are they asking? Like, is it heavy in verbal? Is it heavy in logistical reasoning? Is it maybe they're asking current affairs questions? Maybe they're asking general knowledge. Are they asking logistical reasoning, right? And these are all timed. Remember, they're all timed, right? So you might say, I'm good at math, so I'm not going to have any problem in the numerical ability problem section. But remember, these are timed, and whenever there's a question of time, people tend to get nervous. So it's a good idea to time yourself. Try, say any sample paper from any university, say maybe a IPMAT, to download a sample paper and try it. And you will know that, oh, you know what, actually I was fine in the verbal section. I think maybe I need to practice a little more the logistical reasoning and numerical ability, right? So that actually helps you identify what your weak points are. And so instead of getting like stressed, 1 week before the entrance exam, you have like a year to say, okay, let me start preparing it. Let me start practicing a little bit. So should you be going to coaching classes for that or no? That depends on, for example, how well you manage your time and how disciplined you are. Now, suppose you've already started your 12th grade. You know for sure that you want to apply to management school. You want to apply to about 10 management schools. And you feel that you are not the kind of person who is a very disciplined person. So you're like, I'm not very disciplined. So I am not going to be able to make a timetable for myself and say, I'm going to prepare for these exams on my own. Therefore, it is better for me to go to a coaching center, because they will say, listen, on next Sunday, we are only going to be practicing verbal, and the week after that, we're only going to be practicing numerical, and the week after that, they're going to be practicing logistical reasoning, and then they'll give you a particular set of questions, or they'll give you a vocabulary list. If you feel that you respond better to that kind of, somebody else making the timetable and schedule for you, if you respond better to that, it might be a good idea for you to take a coaching. So that is something we cannot say. That is something you have to understand how you function best, right? Because if you're in the 12th grade, you should already be working on that now, right? Because just to identify, start looking at universities, what are the entrance exams, what are the deadlines, what kind of question papers, what kind of questions should I be practicing, etc., right? So if, for example, your verbal is very good, then you say, I don't actually need to work on that. I need to work specifically on mathematical problems, right? So I hope that question answers your question about the coaching classes.
Great. Just to add to that and emphasize further, students, when you're talking about things like how good you are at something, or like ma'am mentioned for the coaching class thing, what Soumya told you in the beginning is, I would, emphasize more on it, that, first make the university list customized for you. Have a look at that university list and see what colleges or universities you've put into it, and then try to solve the mock papers for them and see where you stand. Because if you look at management entrances, although the sections might look similar, that okay, there is a verbal, there's a logical, there's a numerical, there's a general awareness section, but depending on the college and the university you are appearing the entrance for, the difficulty level might vary, right? For example, you will find the CUET easier than the, say, IPMAT, right? That's for sure. So depending on what colleges you are going to target, right, and what, how prepared you are, or what is your aptitude like already. That will give you an understanding of what areas to put in effort, and then you can decide for yourself if you need a coaching, if you need sometimes it's also possible that you do not enroll in a full program, but maybe just take something like a crash course or something like study material from an institute and then practice it yourself. But all those decisions come to you deciding for yourself, because individual caliber and how much time you have, and how good you are in a particular section, and how many universities you are targeting, that will vary from person to person. Another important thing which I would want to mention when we are already talking about the application process, is that the process might be a little more holistic when, if you have, say, a list of liberal education universities in your list, right? And even if not liberal education, because we are paying so much of attention to skills these days, even if you say, for example, are in your list you have colleges where the process is that the first level is an entrance and the second level is an interview. Having a profile and having stuff, at least some stuff and things which you have done to explore the career in management, so that you can very confidently talk about and justify why you want to enroll a program in a program in management. When you go to the interview round, it's always a good idea. So a lot of times students come to us and ask, okay, I want to do management, what can I do to add in my profile, right? So stuff like certification courses or a small internship, in any form, it could be a corporate, it could be a family business, it could be anywhere where you can show how you learn particular managerial skills and what skills you gained and how you explored a career in management. Or like I said, online certification, some summer schools, maybe on leadership, on managerial skills. These things always come handy, there's no harm to it. But yes, the important thing is how you balance the time that you have to allocate to activities and profile building and entrance preparation will also depend on the list of college you have and what your preferences are, right? Because it cannot happen that you're spending all this time here and did not prepare for the entrance, right? Because the first level most of the time is going to be entrance. So that kind of balancing is very, very important. But like I said, it's no harm adding stuff in your profile where you have explored the career and you're very sure why you want to pursue a career or a course in management. So whether you're writing your SOP or you're sitting in an interview, people know that okay, you are not speaking out of blue, but okay, you have actually explored and this is what you're looking for. So I hope that was helpful.
And like reading the Economic Times, reading the Financial Times, just maybe read the Economist, Outlook, just to understand what is happening in the business world, in the financial world, and reading in general, right? Just being aware of what is out there. Other than just preparing you for the entrance exam, that also gives you an insight into what is relevant, what are the important things that are being discussed in the financial and business world, for you to understand if that is something that interests you. If they're talking about the some issue in the financial world, or some in the IT companies, there is some issue that is happening, and you're like, oh, this is something that is very interesting. Or you see interesting TED talk, you listen to interesting TED talks or podcasts, right? And it gives you, it inspires you and say, this is what I would like to be doing. These are the kind of decisions that I would like to be making. That'll also say, okay, this is, that this is a field that you want to pursue. And when it does come to an interview, you say, when I was listening to this podcast, I heard this thought leader say this, or when I read this in the newspaper, this is what I felt, or these are my, thoughts about it, etc. Shows that, that you are actually involved and engaged with the domain that you're saying that you want to study.
Absolutely, absolutely. So like we've discussed, students about the entrance exam, coaching and application process, we're talking about profile. So let's ask you, what things can you add on in your profile? What are some of the things that you can add on if you want to explore your interest in management as a career? Just type in the chat for us. What all things can a student of your age, 9, 10, 11, 12, what can do? Courses, absolutely. So we can pursue lots of online courses related to management. Co-curriculum, okay. Elaborate a bit. Hobbies, okay. So maybe we can participate into a group where management is involved, some school function, any or of those of activities. So Vaishnavi says debating skills. Okay, interesting. Can be. Yes, absolutely. Debating skills can be, but not directly, but yes, to explore a bit can be helpful. Absolutely, Rabia. Managing any school event, any event at the school level gives us a very hands-on experience as to what are the various aspects into management as a career. So internship, Akshara says internship, leadership, organizing a function, volunteering. Okay. So Akshara is talking about internships. Where all can we do internships related to management? Any idea? Where all can we do internships related to management? How can we do internships related to management in school? Okay, Anjali says Mindler. Yes, absolutely, that's possible. So I wanted to elaborate on that. Thank you so much, Anjali. There's like lots and lots of virtual internships of Mindler, which all of you can explore, which are related to marketing, fund management, startups, really interesting resources. So just you can actually do an online simulation where you are learning from an expert through recorded videos, and then you're doing certain level of tasks as a fund manager or person into marketing. Do you know that Mindler has a collaboration with Puma as a company into marketing internship, like a marketing corporate experience? There's also something very interesting. So I think just explore these parts also. It's very, very interesting. You can even shadow someone who is into business management. So that's another interesting part that we can do in order to explore our interest into management. All right, very interesting. So we've discussed in entrance exams, we've discussed in profiles. I see lots of students asking, ma'am, what should be the specific universities for management? Students, why we are not answering this specific question of universities is it depends on students to students, as Sana said. It's a very, very customizable list. So I cannot tell, like, for example, me and Sana and Prasanna ma'am, if all three of us are applying to management, we can have a very different university list for all three of us. So that's the reason we are not trying to give you a very specific answer here, but definitely we can help you with that. So just reach out to us personally and we can definitely help you with your university list and selection process as well. Sana, Prasanna ma'am, anything else that you would like to give some tips to the students? Okay, so now I'm trying to explore my career. I'm thinking about a bit of entrances, coaching, profiles. So what should I do something, what are some of the tips that the universities look for in terms of students who are applying for management degrees? What would you like to say to the students?
Right. Okay. So see, again, I'll emphasize the same point. First of all, know your universities and the college you're applying to and targeting very thoroughly, because every college and university might have a different approach and a different, bend of things they are looking, forward for. But for you to be completely prepared, be sure of the process, right? See, if you know that they're paying attention to the entrance, make sure you're well prepared for that. But to start your career in management, some of the basic skills like your basic communication skills and people skills is a good to start with, because nobody's expecting you to come with all those skills prior, because that's what you're going to study and be taught through experience and exposure and experiential learning through the course also, right? So you don't have to worry a lot about it, but at least the basic leadership, basic communication skills, interview skills, and a clarity of thought, I would say, as in why you want to do management, and so that it doesn't come across, okay, I did not find anything, so I'm here, I'm doing management, right? It not coming across that way, having a clarity of thought. And when I say clarity of thought, I don't mean that you have to be sorted, that where will you be down the line 20 years, or what organization, what role you will be working after 15 years. No, it doesn't mean that. It just means that, okay, you are sure this is what you want to do and explore right now, this is what you want to do, pursue a course in. And And when you're going specially for, something like an interview or an application process where you're explaining why this course, make sure you're very clear why this course, why this university, so that it doesn't sound like this is one of the option in terms of either university or course, right? You have to, it has to be that, okay, why you want to do this, and yeah, why you are a good fit and this college or university is a good fit. So if you keep some of these things in mind, along with a decent profile and the good entrance preparation, I think you're good to go to apply for any management course here in India.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I can see that several of you are asking many times, how do you choose colleges? So basically, see, everybody has their own list of priorities, right? Maybe you want to be in the south of India, maybe you want to be in the north of India, maybe you want to be in a specific city, maybe you want to be in a big college, maybe you want to be in a small college, maybe you want to be in a university that has, like not just a management university, but they have, they have a law school, they have other programs also, and this is just one of the courses. So all of this depends on you. I mean, do they have, if you're very interested in theater, do they have a theater club? If you're interested in film, do they have a film club? If you're very interested in sports, do they have a sports team? Do they have a big football field? Do they have a cricket team? So these are all things that you should do research on, right? So ideally, you go to the website, and universities are very happy, to highlight the things that are attractive to students. So you'll find this information usually online. Maybe if you are on LinkedIn, maybe you can connect to some of the students who are already studying there. And then you can connect to them, because they can actually give you a real insight into what it is like being on the campus. If the college is in the city in which you live, or a city that it is possible for you to visit, maybe you can drop in, ask for a tour of the college, because the university is very happy to do that also. So because once you're there, because you are the one who has to spend 3 or 4 years there, right? So you go there and you feel that, oh, this is a vibe that, this is, I can fit in or I can't fit in this. That'll give you a very good idea. But definitely going through the through the website, and then finding what you think, what is important to you. Does this university have that or not? That is definitely research that you should do. Which is why, even though many ask me what are the universities, see, if you just go on Google and say what are the top universities, you'll get a list of 30 universities, right? But finally, what is a good fit for you? That only you can decide, right?
Great. Students, I've also put in the link of the career library page for management. So because you've been asking again and again, if you're looking like a generic university list, like the best colleges for management in India and across the world, the link is going to help you with that. You'll get the list there. But like we're emphasizing, for a customized, personalized list, it's your research. And if you want our help for that, you reach out to us separately so that we can help you curate that link. Yes, so Joel will post the link again, no worries. And I also see a lot of you asking questions related to other careers, right? The reason we're not taking those up, because there's no end to how much we as career coaches can talk about careers, but because we are sticking to the topic and management today, that's the reason we're picking up questions related to management. But you can reach out separately, or also write to us at hello@mindler.com for us to help you better. There have also been repeatedly questions related to CA and MBA. Again, we cannot take that in detail, but for those of you who are asking, just to clarify, maths is not an eligibility for CA. You can be from any stream and with or without maths, and you can go ahead and pursue your chartered accountancy certification. But being good with numbers is something which is more than an eligibility, but a preference or something which gives you an edge. So that's it. About MBA, it's a master's degree, because most of the audience here we have today are students, so we covered on the undergrad degree. But for MBA in India, you prepare for the CAT exam and then go most sought after are the IIMs, where you go for your master's degree. Again, your undergrad degree could be in any area like we discussed earlier. So it necessarily does not have to be a BBA or a BMS or a commerce related degree. Also, it could be anything. I could have done my undergrad in psychology and then gone for MBA if I wanted to, right? So that possibility is there. So I hope we've taken that up. Some of you I saw in the chat box was also requesting us to cover some light on pursuing management course abroad. I'll just take 2 minutes to throw a light on it, and then I'll hand over to Prasanna ma'am to add to that. So when you're talking about abroad, like other courses, similarly for management, the country you are looking at will play a major factor in what is the procedure going to be like. So for example, if you're looking at applying for management courses in countries like USA, Canada, your profile is going to matter a lot. And then what things you have done, your certifications, your internships, why you want to pursue a course in management, basically your overall profile plays a very, very important role apart from your academics as well, from 9 to 12. Whereas if you look at other countries closer home, like say if you look at UK, you look at Australia, you look at Singapore, there they pay attention more towards acads than profile. Yeah, so your academics from depending on college and country, again, sometimes it's 10th and 12th, sometimes it's 10 to 12, sometimes it's 9 to 12. So that is what matters. Where coming to other specific things like whether a SAT is required for US or IELTS or TOEFL, we always recommend for all of you, you'll require it for visa process, even if the college is not making it mandatory. SAT depends on what colleges you're applying for, right? But if you have a SAT score, it's always a good idea to submit it like a good SAT score, right? So that was just like very quick take on management abroad, but I think Prasanna ma'am will be able to add more to it.
Sana, you basically covered it all. That is absolutely correct. Definitely, like again, I'm going to repeat exactly what Sana said, that if you are planning to apply to the US, you have to have a very strong profile. So definitely, all the things that we had mentioned, right? Internships, voluntary activities, sports, performing arts, online courses, certifications, competitions that you can apply for, all of these would be very relevant. So if you're in the 11th grade now, this would be a good time. You have 1.5 years to build a profile. If you're in the 12th grade, maybe you can do some kind of certification this summer. This summer would be very, very crucial, to kind of augment and kind of curate your profile. That is definitely specifically for the US. The UK, Canada, Singapore, etc. They are more interested in your grades. That's exactly what Sana said. So that like very superficially covering overseas applications, because that would be an entire 1.5 hour discussion in itself. So remember, we have actually lots and lots of webinars coming up on different careers starting all the way till June. So please make sure that you stay tuned, because if management is not the only course that you've already decided, I'm only going to do management, I'm not even going to look at anything else. I hope that is not the situation. Please do attend the webinars about the other domains also that we have. Every week we have a webinar that will also give you insight into some of the other domains, that you can also think about going ahead.
Absolutely, absolutely. So any doubt, students, just reach out to us on our social media pages, or you can email us at hello@mindler.com, and we can actually help you with each and everything related to careers. So just reach out, and we're all here for you. All the very best. And I saw a few questions regarding the recording. Yes, absolutely. The recording would be there on our YouTube channel. So just subscribe and you'll get all the recordings of the webinars there as well. Thank you so much, and all the very best. Wish you a very good evening. All right.
All the very best. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. All the best, and have a lovely weekend.
Yes.
Yusra, I think we can end the session.